Hi guys, this is Travis with Tpull's Corner, and we are wrapping up playing the Avalanche deck for this week of Travis Plays the Premades. These are the decks that a couple of expansions before, right? Before the two Crimson Tide expansions came out, or sorry, Crimson Vow expansions came out, we had all these other types. These are they're Strixhaven. Okay. Getting distracted by the weight, actually. Okay, anyway, so what's been going on is in the upper right there's an index card for us going over the cards in this deck. This is one of the 10 premades that Wizards gave us, and we're in the final day, so we're going to play a final match. We won the other 4 matches, so it seemed like it's a good deck, right? But we'll see how we do today. And then we'll go into the deck tech and figure out if there's any way to make it better. This deck is a little bit better, I would say, because of... Hang on, let me put down Sculptor Winter real quick. This deck is a little bit better because we've got a flashy card, right? We're used to... The last time we had a bunch of premades... we're dead already with Sculptor. We had Kirabes the Sea God, and that was a pretty snazzy card. The Icebreaker Kraken's a pretty powerful threat. It's not completely insurmountable, but it is easy to recover. And I guess I'm using Emergent Sequence early. I've had better luck with this card in other places. I was able to make it a 4-4 last match, which is really cool. They might just have another shock and say, forget you. We've got our 2 most expensive cards already, and another one that's nothing to sneeze at. So we actually can't cast anything right now for the end of our turn 3. We could if our snow-covered island survives, but it's a targetable creature right now. And maybe our opponent is just thinking about if he wants to kill it now? I think if he can, he would. Is he going to wait to see if we attack with it first? Or is he just going to bring something else down? I'm assuming he's mono red goblins. There we go. Okay, so we will bring this one down. We will draw 2 cards. We'll put another card onto the battlefield. And keep our 2/2 as a blocker, I guess. Well, let's see, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. We could just put down Icebreaker Kraken, right? Maybe we do that instead of blocking anything. He's tapped out, so he's only going to attack with 1 creature. The one he can make unblockable. He's going to attack with no creatures, okay? In that case, there's our 1 pathway. And now, this is why I feel sorry for... Ta-da! End the turn. This is why I feel sorry for mono red goblins. It's turn 6. Was it turn 6? I ramped pretty hard. It's at least turn 5, but we got Icebreaker. We got an 8/8 out already. They can, since Goblin Tunneler is tapped, he can't make anybody else unblockable. So I've got a very nice blocker right now. That's not the land that I wanted, but we'll pay with snow. Any day now. We'll tap the 2/2. And he can't kill the Icebreaker Kraken. He's a good blocker, but This way, for sure, we have him get rid of a threat. I've still got my Bergstrider to block all the others. And we want to see if he's willing to start sacrificing some of his 1/1 tokens just to get some damage in, because red's often willing to do that. And I think it's to my favor. I think I've got help to spare. Especially when I'm putting down 4/4s and they're putting down 1/1s. Hit me with your best shot. He's got a buff spell. He's trying to figure out if he should use it here or not. He's going to keep his ammo dry, which is fine. We don't care. We just don't care. Why? Because we have this. His name is Cybernetic Sloth, and that's our opponent. At this point, if he's really a sloth, he might just quit. Because I'm back up above my 20-point health against a mono-red goblin. And I guess I'm going to hold that in reserve and attack with my Kraken and get rid of another one of his little 1/1s. And if he has to keep a 1/1 blocker against the 8/8, he's not going to be able to do 2 or 3 points of damage to me per turn. Notice my last card was a 7/7 Trampler, and he put out a 2/1 with haste in response. This is the problem with mono red goblins. If they don't hit you and clean you out very early on, there isn't much left for them to do. There we go. He knew there was no way. We just had so many weapons, so many choices. Alright, let's go right into the final. This is actually our best performing deck. We won every single match we did. Most of them weren't even close. And maybe this is just the value of ramp, perhaps. Let's go in and open up the deck again like we did at the beginning. Instead of just going over the cards, we will go over the entire deck. And as always with each of these 10 premades, the very first thing we're going to do is fix the land. So we've only got one pathway. So if you do have 4 of them, I would recommend you put 4 in, because those are better than tapped. I keep the 4 taps in. Having 4 tap lands in is not the worst. If you don't have these lands yet, if you've been hoarding your wild cards, the pathways are very excellent. Usually any land that gives you more than one choice of mana is really great choice, just because it's utility for every other deck you'll ever make in terms of spending your wild cards to craft that land and make sure you get it. I would usually tend to put in a rune card here too as one of them. Let me just get rune land, pull it down. There we go. Field a rune, because you can sacrifice, because a lot of them with Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, you've got a whole bunch of the lands that turn into creatures now more than ever. And so you usually need 1 or 2 of these in your deck. So I would do that to the lands. I would put in 2 more Blizzard Brawls. I think that you've got enough good creatures with like the mid-range Quadrix cultivators. You saw us get out the Icebreaker Kraken pretty early. If you get out a Kraken early or a Bookworm early or even an Ashaya and a Blizzard Brawl, you're in good shape. The question is, what would you take out? We are using Vortex Runner to kind of close out games if we get to 8 lands and be unblocked. So if they've got an army out, we can still get through. So I'm not sure I would take those out. Lotus Cobra is a nice pinch hitter. It's difficult because we won every single match to say what we would remove from the deck in order to make room for the Blizzard Brawls. I might just suggest adding in the 2 extra Blizzard Brawls and not taking anything else out, because there's so much ramp in here. Having an extra Blizzard Brawl show up early could be a lifesaver, but it's only 1 mana spell. So having in 2 extra cards that are only 1 mana cost, that are such utility players, I don't mind going to 62. So if you've got the 4 Blizzard Brawls, I'd put the 4 Blizzard Brawls in, because we have almost entirely snow lands. So it's easy to get 3 snow lands down. The rest of the deck works really well together. The 3 bubble snares just to incapacitate any more powerful threats is always good. And the ramp capabilities between the extra land from the Lotus Cobra, the emergent sequence being able to pull out an extra land, the Sculptor of Winter being able to untap an extra snow land, Zimone, when she's around, being able to, if you already have a extra land card in your hand, being able to bring it down early. Here, Spirit of Aldergard, you can search for a snowland. Quadrix Cultivator, you can search for a basic forest or island card. And even Eureka Moment, you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. So how many cards is that we have all this ability to ramp at? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 right there, and that's not even counting the Scry card. I think we should count that, just in terms of the card draw / ramp that we have. Gee whiz. That's good. That's like half your deck. That's you know, it's not just a ramp card here. You've got a 3/4 creature that you put down, plus you get the ramp. So it works really well. One of the things that Magic's good at is if you get a good card draw, then that can help win you the game. You've got between Graven Lore is a really good card, or if Zimone, one of those 2 copies, managed to get out for a while and you can use her with your extra mana you're not using in a turn to draw extra cards. Those all work. Snow Day, just casting one of those, you get to draw 2 cards and then discard a card. So there's lots of, I won't say lots, but there's a decent amount of card draw in here as part of the mix. So I think this is actually one of the better put together decks that Wizards made. I think Ashai is a really attractive card. Is a legendary elemental. It's just, I mean, it's obviously it's mythic rare, right? So you'd expect it to be kind of special, but it's just one of the best. So you can't argue against that. Icebreaker Kraken is an exciting card, and some of the decks that we have for these 10 premades are not all that exciting. They don't have stuff that's exciting in them. Bookworm also I kind of like. I really like the gain 3 life and draw a card for that. So you got card draw there as well. And those are really the heroes, right? But you can't deny the utility of Blizzard Brawl and Bergstrider. I mean, if you really want to cut out somebody, maybe cut out one of that just because it's mod heavy, and you know, maybe you don't need it so early in the match. Whereas a Blizzard Brawl might turn out better in most cases. That's about it. I don't have a whole lot of extra recommendations for this particular deck. I enjoyed playing it. I really can't complain about anything, right? Because I didn't... I mean, I had one match where it took me a while where I was only having the snow-covered islands come out, and I had some green spells. Switching out for adding in 3 pathways should fix half of those problems that you might have in terms of getting land screwed one way or the other. So with that, we'll leave it there. This is one of the best pre-made decks that we have so far. Remember to like and subscribe. Come back next week. We're going to play another one of the pre-mades probably. And Travis from Tpull's Corner signing out. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.